People have the common misconception that night shift is always bad, but realistically, night shift has its benefits. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 reasons why you should start off at night shift as a new grad. So let's get started. So you probably clicked this video because you're interested in either wanting to work night shift or you're forced to having to work night shift. But honestly, working night shift has probably been the best decision I've ever made because it gives you so many benefits, especially as a new grad RN and not necessarily knowing exactly what to expect, especially in your first job. And if you're already a seasoned nurse, these things can apply to you, but for the most part, it's meant for new grad RNs. But on the other hand, if you're switching to a different specialty, then these things can benefit you also. So without further ado, let's get started. So the very first benefit of working night shift as a new grad is you have the ability to get more time to know and do procedures. So depending on which unit you're in, typically it can be a lot less slower, not necessarily due to patient-wise, but the fact that there are not as many people on your unit. So that gives you more time to learn your procedures and actually go through it, each and every step, and actually learn the procedure. And if you're trying to learn IVs, you can go through that process. Or if you're learning how to do trach care, you can go through that process without people actually bugging you all the time. And it's crucial, especially learning the basics of how to do things. And when you're learning how to do things and learning the opportunities or little nuances of each procedure, you're going to be able to understand why you're doing it and know the background and have someone actually there to help you. With it being a little bit slower, you can grab someone to help you learn the procedure. You can grab someone that's done this for so long to help you with that procedure. And working night shift is, let me tell you, it's probably the best decision I've made. But for the most part, in this benefit, it gives you so much time to learn the basics. So when you do switch to a different unit or when you do switch to a different shift, you'll know what to do without having to bug someone all the time, and you'll have those skills to prepare you for wherever unit you go to. The second benefit of working night shift as a new grad is the fact that you have less people around you, meaning less family, less attendings, less residents. You don't have to get bugged by all of these people and having to do so much. And if you've already worked bedside, then you know the fact that family is always there. Especially as a student, family's always asking questions, and sometimes that can take away from actually what you need to do. So with less family being there or less people being there, then you have more time to do the things that you needed to do. Especially as a new grad with not necessarily knowing everything and not necessarily knowing much, then you could learn more, especially on night shift. The fact that with those less people, you're able to look at procedures, look up why you're doing those procedures, look up why you're giving that medication, and you have more time to learn. So the third benefit, especially as a new grad working night shift, is the fact that you don't have to attend rounds. Yes, you can be a learning experience, especially if you're rounding with other people on all of the patients, but typically in hospitals, you don't necessarily round for every single patient. They just come to you, you give your report to the doctors, and that's it. So you already know what you're doing. But for the most part, you don't have to experiencing rounds because at night shift, usually the attendings or the residents, they're in their little rooms or on-call rooms just so they can rest. But for the most part, during night shift, you don't have to go through those rounds. And it's good because it gives you more time to do other things. Especially if you're just barely learning the unit, you need a lot of time to do things, and you're not going to feel pressure to do all of these rounds and feel pressured to give reports because you're working night shift. But if you're working day shift, then you have to fit that into your schedule, and sometimes it might not fit into your schedule, but you have to do it. But that's why it's a benefit, because night shift, you don't necessarily have to do it. Like I said, yes, it can be beneficial with actually learning which parts of the patient or which things you need to say about the patient, but for the most part, you're already going to know that, especially when you become more seasoned but especially in the beginning is you need to know the patient in and out, and it's good that you're able to spend more time with them instead of spending time during rounds and then learning about the whole process as a nurse. So the fourth benefit of working night shift is less management, and I know it can be relatively nerve-wracking when you do have management there all the time, if they're constantly watching you. And a lot of times we have managers that are micromanagers, and they're constantly hovering over our backs and looking at every single thing that we're doing, and sometimes we make mistakes depending on the person. But with working night shift, you don't have to worry about management. Yes, you're gonna have your charge nurse, but typically they're gonna be the ones that are help guiding you throughout this process, so you're not gonna feel as pressured with the manager actually watching you all the time. So that's always a huge plus, and if you've already worked in nursing, then you know that sometimes management sucks. I've had great managers, but not everyone has great managers. So the fifth and final benefit of working night shift as a new grad RN is the fact that you get differential pay, and that's a huge plus, especially coming out of nursing school. People have loans, people have bills to pay, and when you see that huge paycheck as a new grad, you're gonna be like, damn. And then added on is the differential. Typically differentials is a certain percentage of what your hourly is, so it can be great. I've known some people to get $10, even $15 night shift differential, and as a new grad it's definitely good to have that extra money on board. People say like night shift is the worst, but think about it. You have more time to do procedures, you have less management there, less people there to bug you, and you get that night shift differential. That's huge in my book. Well guys, I just wanted to make a quick video just to give you honestly 5 benefits of working night shift, especially as a new grad or even just working night shift in general. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, concerns, comment down below. Leave those questions. I do answer a lot of the comments as much as I can. Obviously, I'm just gonna be doing as much as I can, but for the most part, I believe as new videos come out, I do comment on the videos and I actually reply back to pretty much everyone. So if you have any questions, concerns, definitely comment down below. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and follow me on Instagram at ThePsychDude. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.